He filled the bathtub with toy planes, then carefully peeled off the logos and stuck them onto forged checks.
I'm sure you hear this all the time, but you have the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen.
Yeah, I do get that all the time.
With a few clever words, he scored his first ever payout, and that was just the beginning. On his first day at a new school, Frank got bullied by the school jock, but luckily, he happened to be wearing a suit that day.
Yeah, it looks like a substitute teacher.
Thinking fast, he walked up to the front of the class and wrote his name on the board.
Take your seats!
Instantly, everyone in the room was stunned. Even the bully backed off. He played it cool, and even managed to trick the real substitute teacher into leaving.
I always sub for Roberto.
Excuse me, why aren't you reading?
By the time the school figured it out, he had already taught French for a whole week, and even held a parent-teacher conference. His talent for lying came naturally. That same year, Frank's dad made it big and entered high society, but bad luck hit fast. A sudden financial crisis left him drowning in debt, so he went back to his old tricks.
Bossy, is this yours? I just found it in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
Must have slipped right off your neck.
He bribed a store clerk with a cheap necklace and rented Frank a fancy suit with a driver and luxury car. The bank manager treated them like VIPs, but no matter what he said, the bank wouldn't take the risk and denied the loan. His cash flow dried up, and he had to sell the car and the house. On Frank's 16th birthday, his father gave him a checkbook and a bank account. From that moment on, checks would define his life. Frank's mom had grown used to a lavish lifestyle, and right in front of him, his parents filed for divorce, then forced him to make a cruel choice, to pick which one to live with. But Frank made a third choice. He ran all the way to the train station with no money in his pocket. He used one of his dad's checks to buy a ticket to New York, and just like that, he left home for good, living off bad checks. He had to figure out how to survive, so he got creative. He scraped the birth year off his ID with a knife, making himself 10 years older, and changed his name. The next day at the bank, he tried to cash a fake check, but the bank refused to accept checks from other branches. Luckily, he came prepared.
You know what I found on the sidewalk out there?
It was an old trick his dad swore by, but this time his luck ran out. The manager wasn't buying it. He went from bank to bank, but kept failing. A flash of inspiration struck him from across the street. Being a pilot was a respected and high-status job, so he made a bold decision. He posed as a student and interviewed a local airline for research. The manager, overconfident and careless, handed him an expired pilot license. Using it, Frank ordered a custom uniform and transformed himself into a young, successful pilot. With that disguise, he went back to the bank and successfully cashed a check. He started learning how to forge airline checks and even flew for free. He charmed a bank worker and learned how banks verified checks. Then during a foreclosure sale, he bought a check printing machine. From there, his fake checks only got more convincing. It wasn't long before the police caught on. In less than a year, he had scammed over $1 million and even bought his dad a luxury car. But the good times didn't last. The FBI was closing in. His forged checks were nearly flawless, but Agent Carl still didn't know what he looked like. Then Frank calmly walked out of the bathroom and casually started explaining all the fake tools. Everything he said and did